Hi, everyone. It's Felicia here, and I am going to start answering questions that I get from friends and family about sailing. So we get so many questions about, things from how do we get groceries and, how do we get gas, little things. But one of the questions that I got after talking to my dad was, about waves out in the ocean. I think at this exact moment there's a storm coming through the Atlantic. There was hurricane warnings about a week ago. We are past that, but the ocean has some very high waves. So he was asking, how does that work when we are trying to decide where we want to go? So I'm going to answer that question today about waves and wave periods. Now, I have to say, we are still learning a lot of this as we go. We've worked with captains, we've taken classes, but there's still some fine tuning for us to figure out what is perfect for us for sailing and when we should not be sailing. So, one of the first things that we use, and I'm going to bring this up, is called Windy. So, this is an app, and you literally can just go and Google it. Let me get here. You can go Google it. You can download it to your phone. It's a phone app. We've used it for when we were in an RV, and it's actually a really good weather app, and it gives you a lot of different things that you can flip through to figure out what you want to do and where you want to go. So what I'm going to do now is show you exactly what we use and how we prepare and how we decide when to go out into the ocean. At this exact moment, we are in the ICW, and that will be a different video, but let me scroll in and show you exactly where the ICW is. Let me see if I can find where we are. So I'm going to get rid of that. So right now we are above Savannah. So this is the inlet into the Savannah River. We are here. That's the ocean over there. We are here past the river, go up this little thingy right here. And I think we're kind of right around this bend. This is where we are at this exact moment, if you can see where my little mouse is. So this is where we are. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my face because you don't need to see me while I explain this. Let me make sure I'm clicking the right button. It's been a while since I've done a screen share like this. But so here we go. So right now, this is where we are, and we are planning to go. Not really sure where we're going to go. We got to figure that out. But I want to show you here on the app what we're looking at. So when we go to the waves section here, this is actually a new feature that they've added into I'm laughing because we're trying to get the dog to go, and she does her own thing. So Dustin and the dog are running back and forth behind me. I'll leave the camera open so that you can see their hijinks going on. But so basically, when you go inside of Windy, you can go to waves, and then you can go and click on any area out here, and it'll tell you, it'll give you this information that says 1 foot waves going east. And you can see here, you can see the little diagram or the graphic is going east. So 1 foot means the waves are 1 foot, and the wave period is 8 seconds. So 8 seconds. So I have started using ChatGPT and some AI to give me some quick little things to remember about sailing. And this is the one it came up with, is that twice equals nice. So remember that twice equals nice. And that means let me go get so the wave period needs to be bigger than twice the height. So that means the wave period has to be bigger than twice the height. So this wave period of 8 seconds will be 16. So if you do that twice, that's 16 seconds, and it has to be bigger. No, sorry. I got that wrong. The wave period has to be bigger than twice the height. So sorry, you double the height. So the height, if you double 1, it'll be 2 feet, and the wave period is 8 seconds. So that means it's actually a really good time to go out and sail. The water is flat, basically. The water is flat. There's no up and downs. And, when you see those beautiful videos, commercials, that's what you're looking for. So you want the wave period to be greater than the height. I'm going to scroll out to show you. So you can see on windy, there is definitely a storm out when you go further out. We typically only stay about 10 miles to 10 nautical miles away from land. So basically, we're not going out very far. So when we say we're always kind of near land, we're still close enough to land that we have cell service, depending on where cell towers are. If there's a city, we still have internet connection with Starlink. When we get too far out, Starlink wants us to pay more money. So we typically just kind of go back in. But as you can see out here on windy, and if you looked at any radar map, you see that this is not good. So the waves are 9 feet out here, 9 feet. And the wave period is 8 seconds. So 18 is greater than 8 seconds. You do not go out. We do not go out at all. Now, Dustin and I, we have decided that our maximum for us, for comfort, for staying alive, anything over 4 feet, we will not go out into the ocean. The goal is to stay as comfortable as possible, to be as safe as possible. So there's a couple of things that are just happening that you have to take into consideration. So you have the wave height and the wave period. But you do have to have a cutoff for our size boat, for what we're willing to do. 4 feet is the absolute maximum of where we would go out. And even then, we have to kind of think about it. Like 5 feet we can handle, but we're not doing that. That is like probably extreme situations where we need to move. 4 feet is going to be our upper limit that we will do when it comes to sailing. So if you're ever using windy and you put this out and you see, okay, it's 8 feet and there's a period of 8 seconds, that's just not good. Also, here's a clue. When you see all of this, that's not good. So whatever was here probably a week ago or a few days ago is up here. So you can see off of the coast of, I think this is that Delaware? It's the coast of Delaware, and then here's the coast of Atlantic City. So even off the coast right there, they have 10-foot waves with a 10-second period. When the waves equals the seconds, it's an absolute no-go. That means it is just going to be, you're going to be hitting waves, water's crashing over you, and it's just going to be really, really uncomfortable. So we don't want to do, so my little, I think it's a mnemonic that I got from ChatGPT, twice is nice. Twice is nice. We like that. Equal is evil. If they are equal, they are evil. Anything over 7 is stress. But for us, it says 5 feet is fine, 6 feet stay in and dine. So, but 4 feet is probably where we will have our absolute maximum. So let me go back down here and show you where we are. So right now, and the way windy works is quite fascinating. So we are thinking about going out on Sunday. Let me see if I can get my thing to. So we're going to come out of the Savannah Inlet and go about 10 nautical miles offshore. But we are probably going to do this on Sunday, because now when you open this up, as you can see, like today, or tomorrow is Wednesday here, Wednesday the 8th. And as you can see, the waves are 3 feet, and the periods, the swell periods between the waves are 7 seconds. So you have 6 and 7. So it's not going to be the most comfortable, because we still want the wave period to be greater. Actually, it would be comfortable. Sorry. The wave period needs to be greater than the height. So wave period needs to be greater than double the height. So this would be 6 and 7, and it would actually be good, but now you have to look at the wind. So you have wind gusts that are like 1 mile per hour. Honestly, when it comes to sailing, we're going to be motoring. So we'll be motoring, not a lot of wind, and we have to also look at the wind direction. So, and here's when it gets a little bit interesting. So even when it is, the wave period is greater than double the height, you still have to take into account the wind. So let's just say everything's great and the wind is 20-mile-per-hour gust. That is an absolute no-go for us. But also the reality is if you have that big of a wind gust, the waves are going to be doing some things. So as we're looking at windy, let me go ahead and get rid of me here. So as we're looking at, oops, didn't mean to do that one. There we go. We're going to do that one. So as we're looking at windy, as you can see here on Thursday, the waves are 3. So it's actually not bad. So you have 6, or the wave period is still greater than double the wave height. So it's 8 and 6. But here's the caveat here. You have 25 mile per hour wind gusts. We're not going to do that because that probably means it's going to just be a little too hectic with the sails and things like that. So we want to look at the waves. Like I said, wave period has to be greater than double the wave height, but we also want to look at the wind. And the other thing when it comes to sailing, we have to pay attention to when if the sails if we'll have a good angle for the sails to go up as well. So with all of that, these are not, we're seeing winds at 22 miles per hour, 25 miles per hour, 34 miles per hour. That is an absolute no. We will not be doing anything that has, 34 miles per hour. So, and then as you can see, whatever is going on, I think there's thunderstorms. If you look at the weather here, there's thunderstorms. So it's looking like Sunday is going to be the best time for us to go out. So the other thing with the wind, we want to make sure, like, our sweet spot would be around 15 mile per hour winds. So we want something in that sweet spot. The wind is going to be less than 15 knots. And that could still be, there's knots in miles per hour. I can't explain that to you right now. We want the wind behind us. We also want short, steep waves, nothing angry, because when things get angry, it gets bouncy, things start falling apart, people get sick, people don't want to do anything, and you get nauseous. So it is just not comfortable. But Sunday is looking like the best time because around 8 a.m. we'll have 14 mile per hour winds. The waves are going to be 2 feet. The wave period is going to be 8. So 4 is less than 8. It's going to be a perfect time. There's also a holiday on Monday, so we might be able to do an overnight sail. And as you can see throughout the night, it's still going to be pretty calm. We get even longer wave periods, which is even better. So that just makes it even more calm. We want it to look exactly like the Bahamas on those commercials. That's what we're going for. And then wherever we're going to stop, Monday is still going to be a good time. So that's how we choose when to go out. Honestly, the rest of this week, the week of the 13th, perfect time to sail, but it's also a good time for us to get in place a little bit more comfortable than our last overnight. I think we probably, I don't know, it was looking okay, but I think we were still trying to learn the wave periods and the wave height. And I think we went out and it was just a little choppy. It was just a little too choppy. We were okay. It's not so much that it's dangerous, it's just comfort. So that's the thing with the sailing. You have to decide what's comfortable versus speed. There's comfort versus speed versus safety. So I think at our point, since we have a cruising catamaran, our goal is to always choose comfort. And when the ocean and offshore is just not an option, we will go inside and stay inside of the ICW. So again, I'll give you a quickie on like where the ICW is, but I'll make a different video to explain what that looks like. But here is the ICW. Basically, it's just a series of rivers. It's just a series of rivers that are connected. I think they go a little bit more inside. They're just all connected, and this little you just wiggle your way down or up the east coast. So whenever the ocean is not doing what we want it to do, we will always come inside, and you will find us somewhere in a river, um, anchored up, in a safe spot. There are no waves. There are no waves like that inside of the ICW. So, like, if we look at where we are right now, I put up our little thing. 0 foot waves with a 5 second period. So there's nothing. There's nothing gonna make us uncomfortable while we are sitting here. When the tide change and the current change, we get a little bit, but a little bit is literally maybe 1 foot. So that's about it. So this is where you go to protect yourselves from everything and wait until it's time to go offshore again. So hopefully that answered any questions that you may have. If you have more, just let me know. I'm happy to share what we are learning and how we are planning our trips. So take care and see you next time.